Welcome back to the channel, good friends. Brian from Apex Detail. Today is another installment of Mail Call where I can directly answer your questions on camera. Get the point across a little bit better than exchanging emails. So let's get right into this. I hate wasting your time. The first one, Steven wants to know what microfiber mitts I keep showing on my videos when I'm washing a car and where did I get them from. My favorite are the microfiber Madness mitts, and we have the ultra thick Incredimit, the Incredipad XL, and also the Incredipad mitt where you can stick your hand in. And I'll put a link down below where you can find those guys. I have a set for my own cars in a separate bucket, and then in another bucket I have a whole bunch of these guys in there, 5 each or more. One for the top, one for the sides, one for the back, one for the front. Throw them to the side. When you're done washing the car, rinse them out with your pressure washer or a hose, and then you can throw them in the washer, low heat, and then tumble dry. And you can tumble dry for 20 minutes, 40 minutes, as long as the heat is on low. Work that lint out of there. There's very little lint. I've never seen any on the car, but these are incredible. This little guy here, it could fit in some of the smaller edges, holds a ton of product. Holding the wash solution in there and then squeezing it when you need some more lubrication. This one here for larger vehicles will hold almost a gallon of wash solution. And then you have your standard mitts. And then they also have a smaller mitt you could put in your wheel bucket. I love these here. Okay, the next question is from Mike. Brian, I haven't seen you do anything with the compound series in a long time. Is there any that have slid into the podium or at the top of the podium? Well, let's put the series aside for a second, and I'll share with you my top 2 cutting compounds and even further. So when I need extra cut, if I'm working on a Corvette hard clear coat, I'm always going to reach for the 3D ACA 500, the extra cut. There's nothing out there that can touch this when it comes to a cutting compound. And I'm talking about the whole package. Yes, it is pricey. I'm talking about cutting, being able to finish down, so there's not much of a step after that to finish out. Long work time, no dusting, taking care of my pads. This is just an all-around the best cutting compound, period. If I want to use a cutting compound, but I don't need anything really harsh, maybe if I'm working on a medium clear coat, soft to medium, where I need it to finish down even further, but there's some deep imperfections, I'm going to reach for the 3D AAT 501. This is the adaptive abrasive technology they have, a little bit different from the ACA, which is their alpha ceramic abrasives. All incredible. And this one here, I go through a lot of this. I don't reach for this a lot because I only use this in circumstances on the harder clear, exceptionally hard, like the Corvettes. Other than that, I want to save as much clear coat as possible. We're clear coat friendly here at the shop. We will only really dig deep into clear if the customer signs off on the paperwork, because I spent a week out at PG and we did a lot of research, and we know just how much clear coat to shave and how much to save here at the shop. For the most part, on soft and medium clear, and even on some of the harder clears where there's not a lot of deep imperfections to go after, I'm still using 3D1. 3D1 I'm using for probably 75% of the jobs here, and teaming that up with the Eurofiber pad guys, it's going to get a huge number of jobs done. I only have to go out of that spectrum to finish or do some extra cutting, so I hope that helps. Okay, the next question goes to Darren, and he wants to know, how can I remove water spots on my own without hiring somebody to do it for me? Not knowing much about the water spot problem you have, if it's on glass or painted surfaces, and how bad it is, how long it's been there, let me drag out a test panel really quick and demonstrate for you and show you, instead of just being in front of the camera talking all the time, different ways you can go about removing them without me knowing much about your problem at all. All right, I hope you can hear me without the background noise. I'm doing this live instead of a voiceover. The first way you can go about it is the natural, inexpensive way, and that depends how bad the water spots are and if they're fresh or not. Lemon juice, white vinegar, two acidic products that are natural, economical, and safe to use, and you could just simply dab some onto a microfiber, dab it on the area, let it sit 1 to 3 minutes, make sure you're in a nice cool shaded area, and then wipe it off. Follow up and flush the area, rinse it, or you can wash the car. And if they're fresh and not too bad, either lemon juice or white vinegar and maybe a combination of the two will take care of them. If that doesn't take care of the issue, you are going to have to order something dedicated to the problem. And my favorite at the moment is the Water Spot Zero, and that is from Tac Systems. And you just spray onto the area, or you can spray into a microfiber and dab onto the area like I did the lemon and vinegar juice. Let it sit there and dwell. It's going to take a couple minutes to break down those minerals, and then simply buff off. Having a couple microfibers and flipping them over regularly, and then flush the area again. Flush it with fresh water, wash it. If that doesn't take care of the issue, and some of the water spots that have been there for quite some time, or if you're in a horrible area like myself in Pennsylvania, there are dedicated polishes that will help you remove water spots, and that's simply shaking up, getting it onto an applicator. You can do this by hand. You don't have to have a machine. Get a little bit on your pad, go over the affected area. Work it until you have removed the water spots, and then simply remove with a clean microfiber. Sometimes by hand, it will not cut it unless you have a lot of time to spare. You can use the dual action polisher with that Meguiar's water spot remover. You need entry level polishers, fine. You don't have to go out and purchase an expensive tool for that. If that doesn't work, and there's 2 more steps you can go, and I've had to use them quite often. An extra cut compound teamed up with the dual action polisher would be next in line. And what pad you choose is going to be dependent on what type of clear coat you have and how deep the etching and the water spots run on that clear coat. And finally, if the water spots have been there for quite some time and the sun has been working on them and it's been getting wet and the sun's been coming out time after time, they can etch pretty deep into the clear coat, and that's where you'll have to grab some 3000 grit and get to work on them, followed up with a polish. So depending on the severity, those are going to be your options. Okay, and the next question I get from all different platforms and sources, and that is, how can I tell the hardness of my clear coat? And it's going to be impossible to even make a chart and keep up with it, because you can have a 2017 BMW that has medium clear coat on one and soft on the other, because depending where it's made, they could outsource the clear coat, and it can change year to year. What I can tell you is the newer cars, they're going to be water-based clear coat, as that's what every manufacturer seems to be switching to, and they're going to get softer. And since these manufacturers are cheap, the layers are going to be thinner. So the newer car you get, it's going to be softer and thinner. The best way to tell is pick out a neutral pad and polish, and that means something like 3D1 and a Eurofiber pad, which is right in the middle. It's not non-aggressive and it's not overly aggressive. It's right in the middle. Get used to what they do and do a test area on your vehicle in a non-conspicuous spot with that combination, and keep using that combination for test spots. You're soon going to be able to find out if it's a hard clear coat, that combination is not going to be able to remove some harsh imperfections. If it's soft clear coat, it will remove them and it's going to leave a haze behind. Then you know it's soft clear coat. If it looks really good and it looks like you can actually stop and protect it from there, it's probably going to be a medium or a moderate hardness of clear coat. So I hope that helps. Another common question I get from multiple sources: how can I tell how much clear is on a vehicle? I can give you some information about that, and it depends on the instrument you have. Unless you have an expensive DeFelsco that's thousands of dollars, the economical units are going to give you measurements of all three layers: primer, base coat, and clear coat. So you're going to have to do the math there. The manufacturers are, being cheap and giving us just about 2 mils of clear coat, and it's very rare that that happens these days. So let's take a measurement here. So Chevy, Ford, Mopar, some of the German cars, you'll get between 4.8 and 5.5 mils of thickness of all three layers. I'll get a measurement on this brand new BMW X6 here, and we're at 5.4. And that is exactly what I would have guessed, being that nobody has shaved this clear coat as of yet. Now, when it comes to a lot of the Asian cars and this Jaguar here, the F-Pace, we're going to be looking at somewhere between 3.5 and 4.8 mils on the clear coat. So it's, yes, thinner. And that's exactly where this falls in line. This is in good shape. We didn't have to shave this too far, so there's still a nice amount of clear coat on this vehicle here. We're protecting both of these, so we're building on top of that clear coat with coatings. Hey there, girl, where are you hiding? So yes, you're looking at about 2 mils, about 1.5 mils to 2 mils of clear you have to subtract from the total that we're getting on these. Take your measurements first, keep track as you're polishing or wet sanding or whatever you're doing, and make sure you don't fall below that limit. That's going to do it for today's mail call, guys. I hope that helps. I will have a link down in the description box as well as the comment section where you can send your questions, or you can also join me on Instagram and send them through the message box that way. Catch you guys in the next video. Dedicate